Hello everyone, my name is Nathan, and today it's time for another episode of Oxygen Not Included here in the One Duplicant Challenge. In the previous episode we set up this balm lily farm, and I realized that we're not gonna make it in terms of power. However, we have two hydrogen vents we can potentially tap into and at least run one of the hydrogen generators from. Even the second hydrogen vent is also almost outputting a calculated average of 100 grams, which would be a hydrogen generator running full time. Now, how exactly are we gonna do this? I think what I'm gonna do is set up my system right here, and then we're gonna exchange these tiles with airflow tiles once we're ready. And the basic goal will be to use this cooling loop here in order to cool things down. Let me see. Why don't we go ahead and just go straight through this wall? Now I need to be a little bit careful. If I add too many pipes, I might be heating up the water too much. So we'll have to put this to the test. For now, I'm just gonna run these 4 pipes, and then hopefully the hydrogen passing through the tiles is already gonna be cooled enough. If not, we can always use this side here as well. However, for right now, we just want to build that. Then I'm gonna leave a little bit of space for automation and regulation. Let's maybe just leave 2 spaces free here. And I guess what we can do is have our smart battery right there. This is still gonna leave us enough space for automation on the top. We don't also want to set up the hydrogen generators themselves, put them on flooring, and this will probably be everything we require. Now, thinking about it, the pressure is gonna get too high once we don't use the power, and then at 5 kilograms everything will be coming to a grinding halt. So I think we're gonna use the space I left free for a little pump. Let me see, is 125 degrees gonna be enough? I mean, it has to, right? It might be that we have to open up this space here as well, so more gases can accumulate. And then what I could do is run this pipe into a bunch of gas reservoirs. Let me think. If we are outputting 100 grams per second, we could also just do it with an infinite storage, but I think it's gonna be more fun to have a couple of gas reservoirs here. I mean, that would allow us to store up to 300 kilograms of hydrogen, which might or might not be enough, but then we can always stack like 2 of them. You know what? I think I'm actually gonna go ahead and place them over here, because this is gonna allow me to potentially add all the storage that I want, and then we can also use the hydrogen of the other vent. So I'm gonna be running that with more or less cheap piping all the way over. Let me see. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go like this, and then if we stack things up, it's gonna make it easier. No, forget about that. We are going down here. That makes more sense to me. And then I think instead of connecting all the inputs, I'm just gonna go ahead and daisy chain them. So it's gonna go into the next one like this, and then into the next one like this. And then the next pipe could go to the next level. Yeah, I think that is definitely something we can go ahead and build. Maybe right here. I'm still gonna need a liquid lock first. Good stuff. That already gives us the possibility to store 450 kilograms of gases. Right now, of course, we can keep up just with the solar panels, but as soon as we start using some stuff here, we might get into trouble. There's my liquid lock coming together. Let's already start filling this up. I'm gonna sacrifice another tile of water to get this done. Something else that happened is my research reactor, well, it didn't overheat, but it did overheat the auto sweeper here. So what I have to do is kind of fix the system properly once we're back. But for now, all that happened is basically the reactor shut down because it doesn't receive any more uranium. And that also means we are just accumulating it here at the moment, cycle by cycle. However, the radiation also stopped, so at least it will not be that dramatic to fix it. Oh, will you look at that? We got our first balm lily actually growing, which is absolutely amazing. Now we want to disable auto harvest for this. So, whoops. Yeah, don't harvest those. My liquid lock has been established. We still have a vacuum going on here. What about the pressure? Over 200 grams at the moment of chlorine. I'm gonna wait for a little bit more so the heat transfer becomes a little bit better, the heat capacity. I quickly made my way back to the main planetoid in order to stock up on more igneous rock, but we're also gonna need different materials. Oh no, the pips didn't the pips are gone! Wait, how is this possible? And we also lost the fungal spores, and oh my gosh, I am not picking up this stuff. What's happening? I totally forgot to set up an auto sweeper here. Whoops. That is my bad. Hopefully it is not too late for this food. Some of it is becoming rather stale. Oh, actually I'm picking it already up. Probably because I have a quite high priority with this conveyor loader. Yeah, let's put this back to priority 5. This doesn't need to be done by the duplicant. You know, something I did not realize is when I actually told my spores to go to the other planetoids, they also took the spores with me that were required to plant stuff. But why did I lose my pips? I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure though I still have a bunch of pips. There's my auto sweeper, and the mushrooms can finally go off to the other planetoid. Let's also build these storages. One I'm gonna utilize to get the pip eggs in here, and then another one for the fungal spore. There's something else I had to do here at the bottom, and that is expand the temp shift plates. So by now this tile here just doesn't get hot enough anymore. So I removed 2 of the tiles that are already cold, and then if we set up a temp shift plate here, we will be able to draw a lot more power. Before I make my way back to the other planetoid, there's one more thing I would like to collect, and that is, let me see, metal ore. No, it's not found here. Rare resources, niobium. Oh yes, we're gonna take a little bit of niobium with us, not too much. Let's just go with 500 kilograms or so. Actually, I'm gonna go with 3 tons, just to be sure. I don't want to make a stupid mistake. The reason I want to do that is so I have an easier setup with the second hydrogen vent, and we can just build a pump with niobium, which gives us a overheat temperature of plus 500, which is perfect for a hydrogen vent that is outputting at 500 degrees. Now we just need to address this little problem here, maybe give the engines a tune-up. Let me see. Yeah, they probably want a tune-up. But this here is more important because we are lacking the power, apparently. And, ooh, unreachable build. Interesting, so I cannot build temp shift plates diagonally. It's probably because it's a background building. That means I have to remove at least 1 igneous rock. I rather did not, but I don't think we actually have a choice. There is my temp shift plate, and that should, as soon as it happens, heat up this tile. Yeah, look at that. Already 350 degrees, 370, 380, 90, and 400. Okay, good. So now this mechanism can kick in again and give us the appropriate amount of power. And my sole indicator is this temp shift plate right here. This one should be as hot as possible, but I would say around 700 degrees is where it usually ends up. Now there's still also a lot of potential from these tiles all around, so I think I'm gonna add yet another temp shift plate to start sucking out the heat from the right side as well. Wonderful. With that out of the way, I want to make my way over. Let me see, did I bring the niobium? This is really important. Yes, we have niobium. We have 20 tons of igneous rock again. We should be golden. We still have aluminium, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. Wait, the refueling of the oxidizer did not work out. Look at that. Sometimes there seems to be a little bug here. So there are no available errands, but as soon as I disable this and enable it again, there will be an errand for this. And this seems to happen quite frequently. I wonder, because if I do that with the upper storage, then it's just gonna fall down. What if I switch the order of this? Maybe that is gonna trigger the errand? No, not really. In this case, I'm gonna drop the oxalite, and then we pick that up with a high priority, and I'm just gonna tell my dupe to pick it up. But it's not the optimal solution here. No. Right, now we have enough range to make it back and forth, even if it is not the full range, but we don't need the full range. Let's begin that launch sequence and do it. Alrighty, I made my way back to Ozista, and we're now ready to do some stuff. I filled up the phosphorite apparently, but there we go. I'm just also gonna establish a liquid lock right here, left enough space for a pump, a sensor, and then we're just gonna pump it all the way over to this spot. Now, there are a few things that are missing. For instance, we need cabling here. I have a little bit of lead, and then we need to switch to aluminium. And then as for the pump, I think we're just gonna set up the sensor here and then lead a cable over directly to the pump. And I will be doing the same thing right here. There's gonna be a sensor there together with a pump eventually. Oh, look at that. I'm actually incredibly happy. Well, it's kind of hard to see at the sipping speed, but that's what I'm talking about. Either I'm happy or I've gone finally crazy. Good. Now my smart battery is charging up. We want this to be, let me think, at around 80%, and then at around 20% I want this to kick in. So we are still gonna rely somewhat on the solar panels whenever we can. But that is everything I need. Okay, now we just need a pipe that goes back. So it's not everything that I need. Let me do it this way. We're gonna swap these pipes right here. So this one is not gonna lead over anymore. So now the output of the reservoirs is gonna hop over here, and it's gonna join into the hydrogen generators. Now let's see, to get power into this room, let me think, we'll have to seal it off. So there's going to be the pump. That means we could have a wall right here, or we have the wall here in this spot. I think I like that better, and set up a joint plate right there. Now that means, I should have stopped the liquid lock here. We're not going to be needing it for long, though it's going to be a little bit of a conflict. Actually not. The next activity is going to be in 67 cycles and the temperature right now is low. So this is actually perfect. We can just go into the room and build everything as of this point. Let's do it. Or maybe let's sleep first. Ooh, okay, that's not good. Where is this coming from? This is so random. Oh, okay, actually, whoa, it is random. Where is the temperature coming from? Maybe from this heavy watt plate? No, it has to come from here somewhere. It doesn't make sense. I guess as long as everything still stays a vacuum and the steam is only getting up to this point, I don't really mind. There we go. Yeah, this opened up. That is fine. It's now time to set up the gas pump. Niobium, you go right there. Hook that up to some power and then get a automation wire going. And of course, last but not least, we need to pump this all out. Let's bring this down and over. Now, unfortunately, we're going to need an additional pipe. We cannot really utilize the pipes that we already have going on here. So what I much rather do is go all the way down here. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a spaghetti solution. I probably could have done a better job with this, but what you're going to do? So we want to bring this all the way over. And I guess as of this point, I want to switch to insulated piping. Gonna make our way over there, over here. And this is where we release it. Now we're gonna have to do this with the normal gas vent, I guess. The high pressure gas vent is gonna overheat, isn't it? Let's see, properties, melting point. Oh no, it's actually a high melting point and there's no overheat temperature. However, I don't have a single piece of plastic with me right now. Well, I think we're easily gonna survive on a normal gas vent. I'm gonna put that right here for now. And then let's get all of these pipes built. You know what? It just occurred to me, now that we have niobium, what we could have done is build everything out of niobium and then we wouldn't have to cool a single thing, right? Except, oh, we can also build the smart battery out of niobium. That is interesting. Like, if we only use it to power up our stuff, we wouldn't even have to cool it down, right? And then these reservoirs shouldn't heat up. Oh, actually, that is not right. Yeah, you know, we now have the system in place and then I don't want the reservoirs to overheat. But I guess we could have done another type of storage and then we don't have to take care of the cooling. Considering we still require everything and the cooling is just this tiny little part here, I don't really mind. But we need to keep that in mind for future projects, like we can tap directly into a hydrogen vent without cooling anything. By the way, it's now time to hook up the cooling loop here. And then I guess we can open this up. Let's maybe just open up the bottom part for now. By the way, my water is now at 37 degrees, so I think we can get rid of the space heaters and in due time we're gonna have this room heated up. Chlorine isn't that great in transferring the heat, so one of the tips you gave me is I should have built the pipes within the tiles to heat them up. We can also see that right here, the air is much more heated up and then the tiles are the ones that are still cold and this is the temperature that the plant registers, isn't it? So 26.9 degrees, yes indeed. So maybe if we truly wanted to optimize this, we should have run things through the pipes, and because I'm a crazy madman, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Okay, stuff is happening. Let me see. Oh, I should replace these as well. It's the cooling potential that we lose otherwise. This is going from 70 or 37 degrees all the way to 42. Okay, that is actually quite an acceptable number. And then if we check things out, yes indeed, we can get that heat barrier in quite easily. So now I tell this sensor to start pumping as soon as we reach, let's say 1,000 grams. And then this is starting to pump and it's gonna pump stuff into my gas reservoirs. As soon as it went through the gas reservoirs, oh, I did not build this yet. Let's maybe focus on that part. I need this quite immediately now. There it is, pipes completed. And now, as of this point, we shouldn't be lacking the power anymore. Right now, we are still struggling, but that is gonna come to a grinding halt right now. And just like that, we are charging up the batteries again. I'm so happy. Yeah, I gotta say, this is working like a charm. Do we have the other one completed? No. Come on, I wanna see this finished. Also, this atmos sensor I'm gonna set to green as soon as we reach 1,000 grams. Well, this one could be a little bit higher. Let's say 2,500. So it's half of the maximum pressure. And that is actually already happening. And it's going to be first cooled down, which is good. That means as soon as I picked up everything, I'm just gonna wait. How can I get out of this? Actually, not that easily, but what we could do is set up another one of these plates. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be a little bit more elegant. Also, I'm now gradually gonna reroute the pipes. It looks like we can already establish one connection here. So instead of going straight over, we're now going down through the tiles. And this should then already give us a overall improvement here. The tiles should be heating up much quicker, and therefore the balm lilies will start to grow. Good, now that we got that heavy watt churn plate in a different spot, I'm gonna open this up again, and I'm hoping that just a tiny bit of hydrogen isn't gonna hurt us too much. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that shouldn't bother us. I mean, it's gonna expand all over the world right now, but it's gonna be so little that it doesn't have an influence. And then eventually it's gonna be gone again. At this point, I think it's gonna be safe to pick up the bleach stone again. Consumable ore bleach stone. I wanna go ahead and bring that back to my rocket. Okay, I'm gonna do something risky here. I wanna prevent too much of that hydrogen to actually escape. So if I deconstruct this tile, reconstruct it right away with the highest priority, then my dupe should be taking the same materials. The water can escape and not too much of... Ooh, 91 grams. Okay, a little bit more escaped than I wanted. However, we have everything under wraps. Everything that needs to be contained has a highly functional liquid lock, not like this one here. So we're not gonna worry too much. Let's now complete this loop here. Wonderful, we actually already did it right there. Time to pick up the materials, clean up after ourselves. Then the rest here is gone, so we can also clean up this part and just get everything removed. Maybe mop up the water here. But yeah, other than that, goal accomplished, I would say. We now have a steady source of power that we can utilize. And also we are approaching the 35 degrees that we definitely require. Right now the water is 34.5, but that is of course going to improve as we cool down more hydrogen and therefore heat up the water. Well then, with that sorted out, I would say it is time to wrap up today's episode. I sure hope you enjoyed it. The next time, hopefully we can enjoy the fruits of our labors and then also build the fish tank in the way that we want. But with that out of the way, have a great time and hopefully I'm going to catch you in the next video. Bye bye.